Good afternoon or late morning, everybody. I'm Lila Bennett. I'm here from Journey to Recovery Community Center in Newport, and I'm here with Melissa Mosley. She is our newest recovery coach in training. She's just recently finished taking our Recovery Coach Academy through Recovery Vermont, and she's volunteering with our center to learn. She just also completed the training to be a recovery coach in the emergency department, which is additional skills for helping people in that sort of immediate crisis, which because of opioids and fentanyl especially, we are in a crisis here in the Northeast Kingdom and everywhere in our country, but right here we see it every day. People are addicted to fentanyl. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a really serious addiction, and it's touching people from all walks of life. It's not any just one kind of person. It's every kind of person. And sadly, the difference between other kinds of opioids and fentanyl is that it gives you such a high that it feels so good, but it's very short, and it makes you very, very sick. And so, unfortunately, people start and then they just can't stop. And it's a terrible, terrible cycle. What we want you to know is that you can stop. And if you are watching this right now and you think that you can't, if you think that you've completely screwed up everything and like all of your relationships, your job, everything, you haven't. There's hope and there's help, and we can help you. All you have to do is call us. We'll help you 1 minute at a time. You can message the page if you don't want to pick up the phone. That's really scary sometimes. So just know that there is help for you. And you're not nothing, and you haven't screwed up your whole life forever. You don't have to. You just have to make that one, ask for help. Get someone, even if you can't do it, you get someone to call us to get you some help. So with that being said, Melissa is here because she called our center after she called originally, actually, because she was interested in how to help. Like, she kind of was aware that we were having this opioid crisis in the Northeast Kingdom. She was kind of realizing that it's not, like, our stigma kind of, like, says it's one certain kind of person, and it's just not. It's all different kinds of people. And so she called me and said, what can I do? I feel like this is a really community problem, and I want to help. So what can I do? So she came, and we ended up talking, and I said, one thing you can do is learn how to administer Narcan. And I taught her about how to do that and gave her a bunch of Narcan. And it ended up, by the grace of the universe and how things come together, just really shortly after that, maybe a week or two.
Yeah, it wasn't long after.
Melissa can tell her story, but she ended up needing to use that Narcan on a community member, somebody she didn't know. But she ended up saving this woman's life. And so she ended up, from that experience, saying, okay, I want to do more. I want to be a part of this. And so since then, Melissa's been coming here. She's observing, she's shadowing, and she's really becoming, an important part of our team. And so with that, I want to let you tell your story about, how you got here and how you're feeling and what happened that day.
Okay. My first phone call was out of distress for myself, looking for someone to listen, somewhere that had advice, someone that was knowledgeable and accepting. And I found this phone call. I found Journey to Recovery. Amber answered the phone. She was helpful. She gave you a message. You called me for days and days afterwards, helping me and guiding me. I had to come see what was going on here. I had to see this. I had to walk through the doors and see and feel. I walked through the door. It smelled nice in here. There was food. There was someone to greet you. We came in. We had a conversation. You gave me the backpack, told me how to use it, brought the backpack home, and there it sat for a couple days. So that day I decided, because I was going to pick up a loved one, if I should bring the bag with me or not, if I was going to offend the person or not. And I prayed about it, and I brought the bag with me. It wasn't long after that I was driving up the road on Route 16, close to my home, where I could see a car going back and forth in the road, and I had to maneuver around this car, and the truck behind it came up and said, "This girl is overdosing," and I could see that her head was going out, down, and coming back up again.
And you had your grandson with you?
And I had our grandson with me. And so when he said, she's overdosing, I said, "I have Narcan." So I went, turned around, and the man had to put his truck in front of this woman's car to get it to stop. And she stopped for a moment, her head was down, we look in the back seat, and there's a child. There's a child. It could be your child. It could be anybody's child.
Good.
And we administered Narcan, and it didn't just take one dose, it took 2 doses. And thank goodness I had those doses in there. Mm-hmm. And when she did come back, it revived her right away, which made me feel like I needed more information after that, because it revived her so quickly, and she wanted to be on her way. So no 911 through there, but we were able to, as a community.
There was no phone service.
There was no phone service. There was no phone service there. Now, it wasn't just me and this man in a truck. It was my neighbor that slowed down and helped and watched my grandson while I did this. Mm-hmm. It was a nurse that was from Massachusetts coming up the road that helped with the child in the back of the car. It takes a community. It takes a community. And it affected me so that, because I saw it was a beautiful young woman. It could be your daughter.
Right.
It could be your mother. This was just a girl.
Mm-hmm. A young girl who was a young mom.
A young mom.
Struggling. Yes. Because life is really hard. Life is really hard. And this was in the winter. And so winter in Vermont, young kid, mm-hmm. young woman, it's, if you are a young person in sort of struggling, it's really isolating to be a young parent. We have parenting classes here. You have to find a way to get yourself near people, and especially because of COVID, everyone was really isolating, and people started doing drugs and feeling really hopeless, and it's easy to get down in that place, and once you're there, you're so ashamed. And so that's what happens too. Like, she came to and was immediately ashamed, and yes. She was terrified that she was caught and that her child was there and she was in trouble. And immediately, once you have administered Narcan, the person is not high anymore, and then they're also in withdrawal.
Yes, immediately.
And immediately in withdrawal, which means when you are addicted to fentanyl or heroin or these opioids that we have in our area right now, like, your mind is not able to go without it. And so people who are like judging people who can't stop, it's just not that simple. It's not because you're weak. It's not because they are weak. It's not because they don't care. It's not because they don't love their little child in the backseat of the car. It's because they cannot stop. It's so physical, and it's so terrible what's happening.
It's brain altering that you have no.
It is. It's mind altering, and so if you come across someone, if you have someone in your life, which unfortunately a lot of people, more than we want to talk about, have a family member who is struggling, or they know someone who is struggling with this, or it's like they suspect it. Like, you just have to understand that it's not because they're weak, and even if they feel like there is no way they can stop, you can. You can stop. You can get help, and that's exactly like what we do, and what we are so good at here is we know exactly what's going on, and we can help. and we work very hard to train all of our coaches, and we understand exactly what it takes to, for one thing, just surrender to the fact that this drug has taken control. And if you can do that and know that it's okay, you don't have to hate yourself. You just don't have to hate yourself. It's then you have a chance, and there is hope. And so Melissa has really been, it's been wonderful having you come, because we have to have people from our community who can be outspoken and talk about that it isn't a certain demographic of person.
No, and we need the community. We need people to be aware. And I don't think reaching a hand out to somebody and saying, can I help you?
Yeah.
I don't feel that is enabling. I feel that is helping your community, helping your neighbor. Mm-hmm. Is there something I can do? And Journey to Recovery is our community here.
Mm-hmm. And so that does go in. That's a really good thing that you brought up about enabling. And I think it is hard, right? We talk about a lot of times any kind of addiction, alcohol, marijuana, whatever, cocaine. For one thing, there's fentanyl in cocaine. So if you occasionally use cocaine, you need to be very, very careful, because you can die. And we have people who overdose who are recreational cocaine users all the time. And we have to go over to the hospital for someone who is completely surprised that they ended up there. So please be careful. But people who are really struggling with substances a lot of times like to make excuses about how they got there. It's their life, or they lost their job, or their partner's an asshole, whatever it is. And so there is a fine line of how do we help people, but how do we hold them accountable to do better? And there is both. It does take that desire to really want to stop. And it does take people saying, it is going to be hard. It's not going to be like roses to stop this.
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty.
10 miles in the woods, 10 miles out of the woods.
That's right. And so, but I do think that our community needs to understand that you can provide support and hope and help and healing and love, while also providing accountability and tough love. That there is both, and there has to be both, and that what we can't do is think that if we turn our backs, that the people will get better on their own. Because unfortunately, this disease, it's just not. It doesn't work that way. It needs to be people who are willing to look at you in the face and say, "You are out of control, and we are going to fix this together."
Yes.
And that's the way it has to be. And if we do it any other way, it doesn't work. And our community and the way that we've all been raised up here is we're strong.
You're fine.
You're fine. Just pull up your boots and get on with your day, and don't talk about it. And that doesn't work for this, unfortunately. And it's kind of funny, because I think all of us, we will all help our neighbor. We would work all day to help our neighbor do anything, but to ask someone to help, nobody wants to ask for help. We all want to give help, but nobody wants to ask for help. And in this situation, we have to be able, you have to ask for help, and people will help you. There is help. And I really think that's...
And I wanted to say, too, there's help for us parents. There's help for parents here, too.
Yes.
There's support. There's people that stand behind you and say, that was an okay thing to do, or maybe next time, there's support.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you are a parent, or you are a family member, or you are a friend, and you don't know how to help, we have support for people who are trying to help people who are addicted. There's substance use is like a human problem. It's not just the one person. It trickles into everyone. Every single person around the person who's struggling is affected, whether they want to admit it or not. It's painful, it's hurtful, it hurts everyone, and everybody needs a different kind of support. And so whoever you are, call here or message, and we will help you. And it's really important. And having people like Melissa is so important, because you are our community. You are a representative of somebody who is here, like, who understands that this is a human and a community.
And I have to say that I've been on my own search for years as well, you know, and recovering maybe from mental health, and being able to know where to search. And you're not alone. You're not alone. Please don't let shame keep you in the dark.
Yeah.
Really, come out to the light. Mm-hmm. You can.
Yeah.
Because I have to say that person I brought that bag to, mm-hmm. they said, nobody cares for us. Nobody does this. But there are people. And they said to me that I was their rock star. So for that, all of this is worth it.
Yeah.
And your life is worth it. Your life is worth it.
It's true. And I do think that people feel, oh, you're making me cry too. You know, people feel invisible, and I think that because it's so uncomfortable, our community wants to make people struggling with this dark addiction invisible. And it's our job to say no. This is not an invisible problem. This is a problem that is affecting all of us. And we have to allow it to be there so that we can help people and they don't have to feel ashamed. And a lot of the times that people end up in this place is like, you know, mom, like, hope, you lose hope. And then you've already maybe had trauma. You've had things that have happened to you. You don't know how to cope with it, and you're ashamed already. And so you're trying to make yourself invisible. You're trying to hide. You're trying to escape. You're trying to get away. And so then you get into substances, and then and then you add more shame and dark on top of it, and then you really do want to disappear. And like for us, like we understand how much you want to be disappeared when you call us and when you walk in the door, and you don't have to feel that way. Like we get it, and we don't want anyone to ever feel that way. Like you get to be here, and you get to be you, and you count. You really count. Every single person.
Ugly parts and all.
Yeah.
All of it.
Especially because we all have them. There's a lot of ugly. You know, that's what this is about. It's about shining the light on the dark so that you don't have to be afraid and you can have a chance. And so...
And if it's not this journey to recovery, there are recovery places all over Vermont now. How many is there now?
There are 13.
13.
They're all over the state. You can go, you can go on the Recovery Vermont website and you can see all of the recovery centers. There's Recovery Partners of Vermont. You can call our center and we will hook you up with wherever you need to go. That's the other thing that we do here is like we don't have to do it all. Like you call us and tell us what's going on, and we will make sure that we get you as close to wherever you need to go as we possibly can.
We're a resource coordinator.
We are.
Right?
Yeah.
Provision.
Yep, we absolutely are. We will connect you with the resources that are right for you, and we know what they are, you know, and we understand the system. So also, if you're someone who's like, I think that my loved one needs rehab, or I think I need rehab, I don't even know what that is, just call us. And we also have ways to get people in faster. So you call us, chances are we can find a way to get you where you need to go faster than if you're floundering around trying to do it yourself. So it's 802-624-4156, and don't be afraid to call. And we have a website and Facebook page, we have Instagram. Just be in touch, don't be afraid. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I want to thank Journey to Recovery, because it's a wonderful spot. I don't feel comfortable in a lot of places. I'm a homebody nowadays, and I feel comfortable walking through these doors. So you can too.
Yep, we work hard to make it be a safe space. And every single person here is a trained professional. We understand what we're doing, and we are a really solid team of people who get it. So, it doesn't even matter who you talk to. We get it.
We can join you on your journey.
Yeah. All right. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Take care.